Hey guys, how's it going? I know it's been quite a while, but I just wanted to pop on here and do a different kind of video than I've done on this channel. It is what I want to call the year in review music of some projects that I may have missed throughout this year. And there's a couple of them that I really wanted to do, but time has slipped away from me and I've been busy with a lot of things going on in my personal life that I haven't had the time to sit down and film reaction videos for the last couple months. And for that, I am deeply sorry. But this will also be my last video for a little bit longer as I'm still working on some personal situations in my life. So bear with me as I come back to somewhat normalcy in the next couple months. But I wanted to hop on here at the video to react, not necessarily react, but like give feedback on some projects that I missed and talk about some of them. The first one I want to discuss is Olivia Rodrigo's sophomore album, Guts. I know that I have done a reaction to Vampire and Bad Idea Right, and those two songs are really good off the album. And then when it came time to the album itself, I was strapped in, but not prepared totally for what the project was going to entail. I would say it'd probably be about, I don't know, probably like 8.5 out of 10. There are some songs that I still need to grow with, and those songs are slowly growing on me. But the album as a whole was just like what Sour was when Sour first came out. It was a slow grower, but over time it aged like fine wine. So as of this video, I'm putting Guts at 8.5 out of 10 overall. And this is my track ranking for it. Very long awaited, and I do deeply apologize. But like I previously mentioned, I have quite a bit going on right now in my personal life that I haven't had time to properly film or edit a reaction for quite a bit of things. And Guts was one of them, unfortunately. Lacey was really a surprise song I did not think would be. When I first saw the track list, I didn't think Lacey would be in my top three, let alone be my most favorite song off the album. Especially Make the Bed. I was like, that one really caught me off surprise. Bad Idea, right? I kind of felt like it was appropriate to put it where it is. Get Him Back, same here. I was really sad about Pretty Isn't Pretty being where I placed it. Same with Teenage Dream. I low key thought I was going to be a Katy Perry cover, but that's not always the case. But Ballad of a Homeschool Girl was really fun. Really fun. This album has some bobs and then not some bobs, I guess. um, but yeah, Guts is a project I'm still growing with. So, what do you guys think of Guts? Are you guys liking Guts? What are your favorite songs off of it? What songs are you not vibing with that much? Logical is definitely a song I probably will skip if I were to listen to Guts as a whole because I didn't feel anything with it. Like it just wasn't for me, I guess is a way to put it. Um Another album that I want to talk to you guys about was the Jonas Brothers' new album called The Album. That apparently came out in May, which, whoops, I did not know they had come out with the new album. Well, actually, I take that back. The only song I've heard off of it was Wings, but I didn't know that there was an album that came with it. And that album came out in May. And here it is December, and I'm just now getting to it. Whoops. So when I listened to the album recently for the first time, it was. how do I put this nicely? It was very different, and that's going to be the way every album is going to be for every artist, not just this time around with the Jonas Brothers, but for every album for every artist out there. Every album is going to sound different, and it just kills me sometimes that I go into it blind and I come out not expecting what I had gotten, if that makes any sense. Like, it was very mellow. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It was very chill, laid back, melodic, but it was really good. But what really caught my eye when I got into this album at the end was that John Bellion, God, he produced this whole album. So I was really surprised by that. Um, what was sad is the album was short, but for it being 33 minutes roughly, it felt right, especially for these 12 songs. Um, Overall, I give this album a 7.5 out of 10, just because there were some songs that were kind of skips, like the last half of my track ranking, I would probably say would be skips. Almost the last half, I should say, like 8 or 9 through 12, definitely a skip. Um, Probably, especially Americana and Somewhere in the Hamptons. Those two are definitely skips in my opinion. Um, oh yeah, here's my album ranking, track ranking for this album. Celebrate was a song I did not think would be at the top of my list. Like, I thought it'd be in the top five for sure, but I didn't think it'd be number one. Um, Wings, I expected to be in my top five still. Waffle House, going into it, when I first saw this on the track list, I did not know about this song until I started hearing it. I'm like, oh, I think I've heard this on the radio at work, and I have. But I didn't know it was the Jonas Brothers because I don't really pay attention to the radio at work because I'm listening to my own music. So that kind of caught me off guard. But what really caught me off guard was listening to Little Bird. That was such an adorable song that Nick wrote for his daughter. Like, I was not expecting that at all. But also, when I went into this album, I read that this album was dedicated basically to Kevin, Nick, and Joe, like dedicating this album to their wives. And which is sad to see and read that because Joe and Sophie just filed for divorce earlier this summer. So it's like, ooh, that didn't work out, did it? I'm sad for them, but I'm hoping for the best for them. Um, that's about all I gotta say for that project. The next project I want to discuss is one of my favorite artists that I've discovered on TikTok. One of two of them, because the next one's also from TikTok that I've seen. Um, this is an artist called Emlyn, and this is one of her new projects. It's a chapter specifically, like an EP chapter album that is going to lead to, the full album in time. Something that Haley Steinfeld kind of needs to work on, but we're never going to get there with Half Read Story. We're still waiting for part two, but I don't think that's ever going to come. But with Emlyn here, she has a new project out called That's How You Make a Villain, Chapter 1. The overall album is supposed to be called That's How You Make a Villain, but this is just Chapter 1 of this album. I really like how it flowed. Like, every song flowed into the next one, and it tells a story. And there's not a lot of artists, in my opinion, that do that. Taylor Swift does that. Um, Sabrina Carpenter sometimes does that. Emlyn definitely does do that. And I just really adored this project very much. Definitely a jam. So if you've never heard of Emlyn, make sure you check her out. Check out her previous album and any other project that she's done. With this project, here's my album ranking for this. I give this album a 9 out of 10. And it was just so good. 10, 20, 30. When I saw that, I was like, is this like a date or something? And it almost made me cry because that song was too emotional. I was like, oh my God. But it was really good. Hotter Than Me, slap, bop, time and time again. That needs to be on the radio. Like, Hotter Than Me and That's How You Make a Villain need to be on the radio as a single. Hands down. Easy. Or at least give Hotter Than Me a music video. Pretty, pretty please. Maybe Build a Boy with Cloudy June. Like, I can just picture a music video where they're like in the factory and they're building a boy. Like, that'd be perfect, but that's just me. But overall, this album's a 9 out of 10. This is really, really top tier. And I'm really excited to see what chapter 2 of this album is going to entail next year. So, fingers crossed that's just as good as this one. Emlyn, you pretty much did the darn thing here. So, mwah, thank you for making this craft. Seriously. Um, the next project I want to talk about is from another TikTok artist that I met on TikTok, obviously. Grant Knoche just released a new album a couple months ago called I Could Die Just Thinking of Us. Interesting title until I heard it in one of the songs on the album. I was like, oh, okay, that's an interesting title. This album, pure perfection, honestly. Like, there were some bops on here that I did not know I needed until I went into listening to this album. Like, it's just so perfect. This is my track ranking for this album. And honestly, it's very fitting. Like, it was really also hard to rank this project because I just adored every song. Like, Grant put his whole entire soul and heart into each of these songs in their own special way. Going into the album, the only one I knew of was Look at Me Right Now, and the rest of it, oh, and Icarus too, which is where the album title comes from, which is very interesting, but really appreciated. Delete has been on repeat for me for the last couple of days because it's literally everything I needed right now with what I got going on in my personal life. Out of the Blue is so perfect. I adore it a lot. Like, it was a tough choice to put Delete and Out of the Blue, whether at number one or number two. But I think I would say they're both number one in my opinion. It was just hard to rank that. And then Intrusive Thoughts. That's hot. That's all I can say. Intrusive Thoughts is like a really hot song. Like, I can just picture this being like at a rave or a party underground or something. And it's just hot and sweaty and just, oh my God. Uh, Please Hurry emotionally and physically broke me. Like, I did not think I'd be getting a ballad like that, but we got broke. So, thank you, Grant, for that one. If you've never heard of Grant Knoche before or of any of his projects, apparently he was on the American Songwriter Contest or something a couple years ago. I never saw it. Apparently, it was only one season, but okay. And, you know, I think he's got some good craft, so definitely keep an eye on him. He's a good performer from what I've seen on TikTok and Instagram. Like, he's really good. Apparently, he was a Kids Bop kid. Interesting. Um, the last artist project that I want to talk about is a band called Set It Off. They don't have a new album out just yet, but this year, like the last, half of the year at least, they've been releasing some songs that's going to lead up to their next upcoming album. They went independent this year after being signed to a label for the last couple of years. And next year, they're going on a tour called the Deathless Tour with some artists called Crown the Empire, Caskets, and Death by Romy. None of which I've heard of, but we'll discover that later on. But I'm guessing with it being called the Deathless Tour, the album might be called Deathless. I'm not sure. But they've released songs like Punching Bag, Win Win with Scene Queen, Evil People, and Parasite. And honestly, each song is pure perfection in its own way. When was Scene Queen. I love Scene Queen. They're adorable. And um each song has its own, like I said, has its own individual personality. When was a grower for me, but I really do adore the song. Punching Bag was literally just like a punching bag. It hit me in the face out of nowhere. Like, that was a song I did not know I needed until it came out and I first heard it. I was like, oof. The acoustic set is just beautiful for it. Like, I love the acoustic version of it. Um Parasite, like, it just came out earlier this month, I think, or last month, sometime in the last month or two. And that one's definitely a grower, but it is really good. It slaps. There's just something about Cody Carson's voice that it just feels right. Like, I can't really picture anybody else singing these songs, let alone any song that Set It Off has done. And I'm excited to actually be going to seeing them on tour when they come here to Kansas City next spring. So that's going to be fun, I think. But definitely check out Set It Off, past discography, and their upcoming album when it comes out, hopefully next year. Um, I will definitely be linking all the projects I have talked about below. The reaction videos for those two songs from Olivia Rodrigo's discography, I will link those below also. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Like, this is definitely a video I have never done before, but it's also a video I did not plan on entirely making because I wanted to do an individual video for every project, but I wanted to do like a quick year roundup of some music that I missed because of the personal situations that I'm dealing with right now that has prevented me from doing such things. And to that, I am so sorry. But I'm hoping in the next couple months things will be more situated and stable for me to do individual projects again. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this rundown review video nonetheless. Let me know in the comments if there's like any projects that I may have missed since uploading this video or my last reaction video back in like September or August, one of the two. Um, this year's just been a whirlwind. That's all I gotta say. So here's hoping to 2024 being good for not only me, but for you guys. Um, thank you guys so much for watching and sticking around and supporting me. I really appreciate it. Um, this is Derek signing off, saying Happy New Year's and Happy Holidays, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.